If you're a woman who struggles with low libido in your relationship, I want you to know that you are not failing as a wife or as a partner. Often the women that I talk to have an overwhelming feeling that they are failing as a partner, and that if they don't make a change, their partner is either going to eventually leave, get sick of them, or find it somewhere else. When there's an ongoing intimacy struggle, it really becomes this conversation of who's to blame or whose fault is it? And oftentimes the person who has the lower desire becomes to blame. And it's their fault, as if they didn't have this problem and didn't have quote unquote low desire, then you wouldn't be having this issue. As someone who struggled with intimacy for over a decade in my relationship, and now I help other women and couples navigate this same journey, I can completely relate. However, what I discovered along the way is that feeling like you're a failure really comes back to this feeling that intimacy is an obligation. It's a duty. It's something that you must do inside of a relationship, which ultimately perpetuates the pressure and therefore a lack of desire that we feel. On top of some of the underlying issues and blocks that could be happening that's preventing you from having desire, the weight of feeling like a failure or the fears of the repercussions that might happen inside of your relationship actually continue to further tank the desire in your relationship. What I would invite you to consider is less of whose fault or who needs to change, and rather, how is our relationship dynamic creating this symptom or this struggle? Both of you have a significant contribution to the amount of desire, the amount of intimacy, the amount of connection that exists inside of your relationship. And we really do need to, one, let that pressure off of you. That is such a huge weight to carry that if you were just to change, then everything would be different. In reality, it is your relationship dynamic that's causing the issue. And the way I like to think about a relationship dynamic is kind of like, he brings his stuff, you bring your stuff, and then together you create more stuff. And all of these are working together. So do you have contributions to why this is happening in your life? Absolutely. And that's what we completely focus on inside of the In the Mood Women's Experience. I'll link it down below. It's a crash course for helping you to find more connection and desire towards your partner again. Does he absolutely have a contribution as well? Yes, that's something that's often missed. I often see, well, my partner has low desire, therefore that's where the focus lies, versus actually how can we look at this more holistically and both of us look at how we are both contributing. And then also the dynamic that you guys create between the two of you also has an impact. So we want to stop hyper-focusing on the fact that you have low desire and instead look at the circumstances and the relationship dynamics and the other factors that can contribute to the low desire. No woman and no relationship is the exact same, meaning there can be various blocks that could be contributing to this feeling of low desire or a lack of libido. And oftentimes we start to think there's something wrong with us, we start to go down the medical route, we check with our doctor, all to find that there's nothing seems to be wrong and it's kind of unexplained, which is why in the Mood course, I really dive into what are all the potential blocks, because what I hear a lot when I talk to women is, why is this happening? I don't know why this is happening. I can't fix it. I can't suggest anything because I don't know why it's happening. Nobody seems to know why it's happening. And so inside that course, I actually break down a huge list of common blocks that I hear that I've had to work through, my clients have had to work through in order to come through and release this lack of desire in their life. I know that starting to make a change in this area can feel super heavy. It can feel like you already have enough pressure to be intimate, and the thought of even saying you're gonna make a change feels like it adds more pressure. And then there's oftentimes a huge fear of failing even further what if I try something and it doesn't work and then I'm even more of a disappointment to my partner? Or what if I start to make a change and what actually we discover is that we're just not compatible and I have to leave a relationship that I really want to be in? After talking to both women and men on either side of the relationship dynamics, what I've really learned is that both people in the relationship are hurting. Both people tend to be starving and desiring and needing something that isn't quite getting met. And oftentimes we get into relationships and we kind of just go into default mode. We do the same things we've always done. But when we talk about marriages, when we talk about long-term relationships, we go through so many seasons together, right? Our bodies change, our hearts change, what we need, what we desire, our lifestyle, our stress load, all of these things shift over time. So why did things change all of a sudden? Or, why can't it be like it used to be? Or what happened to us? We are really insignificant comments, and I don't think perpetuates or moves the relationship forward. I think what we have to be asking ourselves is, when did we stop growing together? When did we just continue to go into default mode? When did we stop getting to know each other and learn about each other and each other's needs? Let's just remember that the thing that worked in the past for your relationship or your intimacy is actually unlikely to work inside of the future, because you are different now. Your body's different, your heart's different. I'm gonna link a couple videos below as to how I overcame my low desire and the intimacy struggle in my relationship. You can definitely check those out for more resources. If this video was helpful and you can relate, please like this video. It helps more people who are desperately searching for solutions find it. And if you've been navigating an ongoing intimacy struggle and you're wanting to get rid of it in your life, move on, let it go, be sure to subscribe.